A word for our listeners. Season 2 of Masks of Nyarlathotep is set in the 1930s and 40s. We will be using terms and sayings from those times, including some that could be considered offensive. It's not our intention to offend. We merely wish to offer as accurate a view of the time period as possible. Welcome to Masks of Nyarlathotep, a Nerds Domain gaming podcast. Join us each week as our investigators uncover the corruption of the mythos in World War II. Starring George Chimples, Rob Walker, Phil Durham, Shirley Niedzwiecki, and Justin Kimmett, with Matt Quiett running the table as keeper. Eldritch evils and crazed Nazi cultists await you just beyond this music.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. I'm Matt, and I'm here with Philly,
Felina,
Bobby,
I'm having a great time.
and Shirleyna.
Hello.
This is the first time I've broken my trend of having a good time.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Ew,
episodes
that's
that you.
fun.
You wanted to be Bobby.
I didn't want to be Bobby.
You
made
are
me
Bobby. No, you wanted to be Bobby.
I didn't. I said
Can I be
didn't
Ricky
care.
next time?
No.
We can do a Ricky Bobby.
Yeah, I made this conversation, or made this joke earlier.
It's a callback.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that what that
It's
works?
a callback
Yeah,
to
and
earlier.
what happened when we said that was going to be the thing that took place?
I think you Rick.
He
I'm
said he was
gonna
going to quit like a crybaby.
I was going to.
Well, we're all probably gonna die here pretty soon by some Nazis. So
Yeah, it's true.
And it wouldn't be the first time.
All right. You guys are in Catan.
wait, have any of your characters
man.
died?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which one died?
No, none of them have
Two
died.
of
Gorp.
them.
Gorp did
No, I
not.
thought Gorp just
Gorp
wandered
retired.
off,
Oh, did he retire?
Gorp's a quitter.
and then the other one joined the Nazis, and so unless the Nazis killed him, or I guess someone killing Nazis got him.
No,
Whoa.
he's still doing his thing.
Oh, yeah, that's not canon.
Yeah.
Damn it. Sorry. That not canon.
You guys
messes
are in
me up.
Kenna, Quena. That is the name of the town you're in.
We're not in a town.
You're in ancient ruins.
There we go. I
Um,
heard that.
You
did
are
I.
headed back to speak with the professor, correct?
Yep. We've got a game plan. I wrote it down.
Okay.
It's 2 steps.
Where
Well,
are
there
you?
are two
where
main points. That we
where
need to
are you
negotiate.
headed? Are you headed back to your stool? What?
I'm going back to my stool.
are
It
you
keeps-
two other two going back to your stools?
It gives us a cross perception.
I'm kind of. Where are you going?
Is the major still?
Sipping water.
Yeah.
If he'd have moved, I'd have shot him. Let's just be clear.
You're 40 yards. You would have been actually outside.
So
of your
so as we
gun
start
range.
walking,
Oh, I would have
Yeah.
shot at either way.
as we start walking back, I'll probably turn to Astor and be like, "Do we want to have an us versus them? Do you want to keep the major near you, and I can go back over by Evelyn and the professor?"
Yeah, that's fine. It seems to be working well.
All right. So,
So I'm going to go back over here by the professor,
Okay.
whom you loathe.
oh, yeah, because she's
They're wearing a Nazi uniform. You don't?
Well, I mean, don't you want us to
Is this
stay
in
together?
character or
Yes.
okay?
Okay.
So your response to "Don't you loathe them" is what?
I said, don't we want to stick together?
Yes.
We, the 3 of us? Let's clarify our we here.
Right.
So, yes, we're in agreement.
Yes, we want to stick together. But
Then
how
why
does
are Blake and I going over here?
Because then he can see that way, and I can see that way.
Then we're not sticking together.
We are all together
We're
within 5
working
yards.
together.
We're within 5 yards of each other. We're together.
Meters.
Proximity.
5 meters. We're close enough.
All right.
If
Fine.
You need
you're-
me to sit on your lap?
are you more comfortable by Astor? I'll go stand.
I'm
next
more
to the
comfortable
professor.
when this is over.
Well,
Well, you knew what you're signing up for. Let's go.
Let's go.
I stifle an exasperated sigh.
Okay.
I did too, yeah.
I go
I
ahead
didn't stifle
and
it,
go
I
sit
sighed.
down and take another sip of my tea.
Okay. So you guys.
I roll my eye.
Oh my god.
This is important character description.
It is.
So the professor looks at Astor and waits.
All right, so here's our proposition. You can accompany us.
Okay.
Anything that's found or acquired outside of knowledge, because we can't take that from you, comes with us.
Okay.
Before any of that can take place, everyone clears out but the four of us. I'm going to warn you that you will be judged.
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 Be thrown through some flour.
You're going to be thrown some flour.
That's dredge.
Oh,
Dredged. Yeah, she's
No.
right. Damn it.
You're thinking about Judge Dredd. Dredged.
So you're going to be judged, and we don't know what happens if you fail that. So this could be potentially fatal.
judged by who?
Whoever it is on the other side, we don't exactly
Other
know
side of what?
of what we're about to do.
So you're with the Black Sun.
Yes.
You know.
You're familiar with the area to which we must go.
Okay. How about this? You guys give me a little more information. Help me understand exactly what's going on and what your next steps are. If I then choose to accompany you, I send my men away.
Okay, how about this?
Counter offer.
Because I really don't care for that answer. You are going to have to risk yourself.
And I'm not.
For that to-
I
that-
have
I
no
know, that's-
issue with risking myself.
that's
You're
not-
asking me to.
That's not the dialogue I'm about to have. So you're about to risk yourself, so it's fair that you come into the situation prepared. However, this is privy information.
It's toilet information.
No, you're-
Privileged.
Privileged.
Yeah. No, I think.
Privy.
You got to be privy to it. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyways.
I don't think that's I use that word.
I'm not going to look it up this time. I'm focusing.
Yeah, no, we're focused. Go ahead.
Anyways, we will share this prior to starting. You will have as much information as we're willing to give.
Are we staying here in this town? You keep talking about how we're going to the other place or the other side, or where.
That's part of the privileged information. Here's the second part. We're going to add a little insult to injury here. You've talked about the journals. You talked about all this. They get destroyed before we start.
You have Ehrlichman Journal here.
No. But we have notes
so-
that get destroyed. None of our information goes anywhere. None of this starts until that's destroyed.
I mean, those are your notes, I guess. If you want to destroy your own work, go right ahead.
Okay. I'm going to nod at Blake.
I will nod back, but I'm
There you
kind
go.
of confused.
That's just looking for some kind of acknowledgement.
Well, all as far as Blake understands it, and as far as the player understands it, all she's agreed to is that we can destroy our notes, not like.
Yeah,
our
no,
charts.
I'm okay with that.
Oh, okay.
Um,
None of that can be communicated in a look or whatever, but yeah.
I'm just going to nod, and if I get a nod back, I'm happy.
Okay.
We will give you as much information as we can. We won't give you the key to the door, but we'll let you walk through with us.
Okay. So you're assuring me that I can accompany you to wherever you're going,
Yes.
that the knowledge I gain there is mine to keep, but anything physically taken from there is yours to keep.
Yes.
I must send my men away,
Yes.
and you're going to burn your own stuff before we start.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep a driver in the Jeep.
Unarmed. Be checked before we go. He will be checked by all of us before we go. Only one of us will remain armed.
Okay, he's going to keep a knife just in case. Not you guys. There are
No, obviously, that's fine. That's acceptable.
and then he'll keep enough food and water for he and I.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Everything else will go. The tanks, in fact, and she waves her hand kind of haphazardly, and the tanks both turn or start to turn.
Okay.
Without any motion from the major?
Nope, no motion from the major whatsoever.
All right.
The major looks at you, like clearly you can see out of the corner of your eye, looks at you, stands and straightens his shirt, and waits for just a moment to make sure that you're not going to object to him moving away.
I just motion with my hand, 2 fingers out, and send him that direction.
And he starts walking back to where back to the vehicles. And he starts talking in German, just getting people prepped and ready to go. Like, let's get
Nothing weird, nothing. Okay.
nothing that you're picking up on. No. Yeah, you don't see anything. When this is done, you will leave here.
We'll go about our way. You go about yours.
You will leave first. Myself and my driver will wait until you are gone and out of sight before we leave.
Sounds fair.
Okay.
I look to Blake.
Yeah, head nod.
Okay.
Then we have an agreement.
We have an agreement.
Okay. She motions again, and some of the men, the Egyptians, unarmed, start packing things up. They leave the one above her, but they start picking up the stools and everything that's not needed.
We need one Egyptian to stay to run an errand for us.
Okay.
Isn't that going to be the driver should suffice?
We're not going to leave her without her driver.
Okay. The driver and one man.
Yeah.
You get one armed person is our agreement, yes? Herself or someone else?
We didn't. The driver's going to have the knife.
The knife, okay.
Yep.
And one of us is staying armed, or we're staying armed?
I didn't
You
say
said one of you.
one of us will stay armed, which will be me.
Okay.
I have 2 Berettas, by the way.
So
My character sheet. I didn't realize I had 2.
Fine.
since they're showing that they're leaving, I'm going to walk towards our vehicle, wherever that might be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say anything, but kind of with the intention that once kind of the convoy, as they're going to leave the convoy, kind of starts going off, visible to the people that she keeps behind, like I would lock up, within the vehicle or whatever. I guess if we're considering knife armed, then yeah, I'd put my gun and my knife in the vehicle.
Are you taking Evelyn's as well?
So
Are you taking Evelyn's as well?
no, she could, unless she asks me or motions for me to do so, then we can role play that. But
Well, Astor's the only one that's supposed to be armed, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, then I would.
I don't know if you're going to
Give it
handle
up.
it yourself or you're going to give it to me to handle.
Give it to you to handle, because we need to keep everything in one area,
Okay.
right? Or no?
Yeah, we want to keep it all in the vehicle locked down.
Yeah.
So when I walk away, you kind of hand me your stuff.
Miss
Okay.
Evelyn, if you could instruct the errand runner of what we need. The
You
list
have,
of-
you have
Okay.
all of it except for the lotus petals.
Right.
So you tell him what you need.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks over at the professor and says, "Where do I even get this?"
He looks over at the professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And where would he find these petals?
Probably in a herbal shop for a local medicine.
Isn't he an Egyptian?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's an herbologist. Like, it's not like he's a flower dude.
Okay.
I mean, you can describe what they are Do they have a local colloquial for it?
He knows he's familiar with it.
Right.
But where would he go and get that? Like, okay. So
Probably in an apothecary or.
so the professor says, as far as I know, the only place to get this is in Cairo, and we're looking at, a week there and back. Did you not come prepared for this part? Is this something we need?
Yes.
Yeah.
What do we need these pedals for?
Part of the journey?
Yes. To enter the nether realms, the underworld.
She mouths the word underworld back to you, like, okay, so do you guys have enough food and water for a week? Because I don't.
So where
Close.
are we? I thought we
We're-
were...
You're up the Nile about three and a half days by boat.
So
How
they're saying
did
it was
that
2 days,
guy
but-
get the
So I
stuff
said 2
done?
days from Cairo.
He was in Cairo.
We got the first
Okay.
batch in Cairo, and we brought it with us.
So
So there isn't a local apothecary in any of the towns nearby. There's nothing that's going to have. I mean,
nothing that would this flower
How-
is uncommon enough that and not used for medicinal purposes.
How far is it into like the mountains or whatever you were saying?
Ooh.
He said that was like
Is
a
it
week.
longer?
Yeah, it's gonna be longer.
Okay. Yes, we have supplies for a week.
Yep. We're making soup.
Sand soup.
I'm gonna have my one piece of
MRE
hardtack
soup.
and
Lots of soup. No more good soup.
And you have you don't want to divulge any more information about what this is needed for?
That's
That's
Is
what
everyone
it's
else left
needed
yet?
for.
They're out of earshot at least. If they're not left, they're like packing up and, getting ready to. Turning trucks around.
when the remainder of your men are out of sight, I'll be happy to.
we'll let
share a
Miss-
little bit more.
We'll let Miss Evelyn explain
Okay.
because she's our occultist.
So she kind of sits there and sips her what has to be cold tea by now.
Well,
And
relatively.
for another 20 minutes or so.
She can just put it out in the sun and it'll get hot right quick.
Right.
That's
For another
relatively.
for another 20 minutes or so, and then the trucks and the tanks are out of sight. You have two Egyptians, one armed with a knife, one unarmed, and the three of you and her.
So at this point, I've clearly stashed away everyone but Astor's arms.
Right. So, Miss October, would you like to explain this to me?
We will need a serum to help us to go on a journey. This is part of that.
You can explain more, Evelyn. We've agreed.
What else is there to explain?
That
Where's
we're going.
this journey taking us?
There you
To
go.
to the Duat. You know the occult.
I'm familiar with the Egyptian afterlife.
Why were you told to come out here?
I am here in Egypt to get to whatever the Noctwolf are getting before they get to it.
So you don't know anything about what they're after.
It's something to do with the Palladium.
You're part of the Black Sun.
That, yes.
Okay. And we've seen some of the initiation rituals.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you aware that there's a lot more to the occult than just those initiation rituals? Like, are we going to the Dreamlands? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
Out of character, we know that's.
Yeah. That's,
Yeah. I mean, I got a 20 in Nicole.
Yes.
Yes.
Astor. I'm not Astor.
I don't know that it's the Dreamland specifically, but
I can
Bryce says yes.
brew the proper liquid without those leaves if you want me to.
No, this is specific to the type of journey that we're going on.
It's a reddish liquid.
Yes.
Tastes slightly alcoholic.
Yes.
A little thick.
Yes.
I can make this. There, stepping into the dream world or into the dreamland sometimes has more to do with the location. And if you did it here, I'm going to guess that it was done in the temple, which means that the temple is anchored to a specific area in the dreamlands. The dream brew you need is something that we are all taught. There are only certain locations that are anchored like this. The Duat makes sense since that's what the Egyptians would have put here. It's part of their history and their culture. I can make the space, or the space. I did not say space. She would not have said space. I never said space. I can make the dream brew.
But is it anchored to the spot? Because that's where we need to go to get what we seek.
I mean, without going into the dreamlands with the dream brew, I couldn't be positive, but it sounds as though you have done this already. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's where you woke up, was the Duat.
No.
Yes.
But that's where you found yourself while dreaming.
Yes.
Then this place is anchored. It may just be the temple, if that's where you did it. Wherever you were, that place is anchored. If you will give me more information, it would be helpful, but I understand why you would be hesitant. Did you fall to sleep in the temple?
Yes.
Did you wake in the temple?
No.
Where did you wake?
The sanatorium.
All three of you?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you all wake at the same time?
No.
Then it sounds like the entrance is in the temple, the exit is in the sanatorium. That means that the temple itself is anchored. Even if it's just the room you were in, it's anchored.
Okay, Shirley's asking the question. Did
Sure.
that guy say that we
He told you had to be in the temple. He was very specific.
No, about the serum.
What about it?
Like, does it have to be the lotus? Did he mention anything about...
He said that the way he knows how to make it is with the lotus.
I mean,
Okay.
the implication she's giving, out of character, the implication she's giving is that, it's the same as any kind of modern pharmaceutical. You can make penicillin by isolating it, or you can fabricate it,
Right.
right? There's lots
Or,
of different ways
or it's
to
also
do
like beer, like
Right.
or alcohol.
Right.
You can make alcohol from potatoes or corn or rice.
Right.
Like,
Right.
It just
Still
depends.
gets right. It just depends on what your target is. So for her, she's implying that there's many different ways to
Ways
make the
to-
brew. It's really about getting you to sleep the right way.
Right. So, then the ritual that he used to basically vet us to know that we're okay to go do this, that
Are you
doesn't
asking
have
Matt, the
anything-
storyteller.
Yeah.
You don't know. You're not sure. You could ask her about it. She might have insight.
So, Philip the player thinks doesn't see why we couldn't give it a shot.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know. I was just kind of thinking. I guess I thought I had a question, and then I just kind of thought it out loud, and I'm like, nope, there's no question here. So yeah. So there's just the five of us at this point. So I think we can use her potion
Let's give it a shot.
and give it a shot. We can still send the person for the lotus petals, and if it is specific to this lotus petal, then we've already sent that person. And reasonably, there's no foul if her brew doesn't work.
If
And,
not,
and
he
you
gets
are
paid either
discussing
way.
this in front of us, in front of her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If you're right, and it's possible, I haven't looked at the research or the information.
You don't know everything?
I don't. If you're right, then this will take us to the dreamlands, but you will be able to control it enough to wake up. It's a force of will to wake up, but it sounds like you have already done something similar, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal. Shouldn't be. That's the worst case scenario.
So
I do find that it also leads to a good night's sleep.
the trip you're going to go on
Sure.
will the journey, however you want to define it, it's going to weigh your soul.
You mentioned that.
Hmm.
Yes.
It's part of the process.
I have nothing to worry about.
Do you have any other questions for us?
No, I can brew this. It might take an hour or so.
We've been instructed that we can only make the passage at night.
That makes sense with the Egyptian belief. Yes, that makes sense. Okay.
Can you?
It makes sense with the Egyptian belief, or you believe that it is accurate?
That makes sense with the Egyptian belief.
In a gesture of good faith,
Okay.
would you be willing to let Evelyn oversee?
I'd be happy to teach her.
Evelyn?
Sure. Notes.
I will need some basic gear that's in the Jeep,
That's fine.
but we're looking at. I'm going to be using a small knife, and I just want to make sure you're aware.
That's fine.
Okay. So she has a tray brought over, and a little like beaker burner.
Bunsen burner?
Look, it's either Bunsen or beaker. I got it close. It's 50-50 shot.
Yeah, well,
They're each a
you
Muppet,
You have,
yes.
you have an English, I made air quotes, major, and a chemist at the table. So
Do we have a chemist at the table?
Yar.
I thought you were Evil Corporation. Sorry.
Oh, wow. Funny.
So she brings out a Bunsen burner, a beaker burner. You just put whatever, and like a mortar and pestle and a knife and a few other ingredients. Some of them which you recognize, like a nut, like a not a nut, a seed for a larger plant. Water, a couple of powders, and she grinds it all up and does a thing and then puts it on. It takes a while. She teaches you how to do it. You can write down brew dream mead on your character sheet as a spell you know.
Okay.
It takes an hour. It will make as many potions as you want. It takes a temporary magic point to do that. And then, you can make, I think it's up to 8. I'd have to look up the rules. It's not that important.
Where do my
For the
spells
record.
go? Anywhere?
On the back.
Yes, because I have a spells known. We named it Dampen Power, but you have said that it is a spell of your own creation.
Correct. I'm sorry. It's called Brew Dream Drug.
Ooh, you're making drugs.
But she calls it mead. Oh, yeah, no.
So, the one Egyptian went off for the lotus petals. Between now and whenever we go to sleep, or you bring it up or whatever, I'm keeping a very close eye on the Egyptian with the knife.
Yeah, he's like sitting and reading newspaper.
I'm not expecting anything to happen or whatever, but just for the record,
Yeah.
if you want to go shenanigans on
She
him.
left everyone but an Egyptian with the knife. She's clearly not concerned. And personally,
Blake's
I'm not
not-
comfortable with any of that. I'm expressing this as the player, but the character would be demonstrating that he's very uncomfortable with
Are
the
you
entire
keeping an eye
situation.
on her?
I'm keeping, yeah.
Then I'm keeping an eye on him.
So she makes the mead. It looks very similar, like almost exact. You don't see any differences. And she says it's ready whenever we want to use it, but as you said, it needs to be done at dark or at nightfall.
Yes.
Do you disagree?
No, I trust that if you've already done this once and it worked, then we should do it again that way.
Yep.
And we'll be in the temple, correct? So
Correct.
perhaps we should get set up in the temple, and then I have a few books to read. I don't know if you gentlemen would like to do anything, or perhaps you, Evelyn. But
Is your
that's
man
my
coming with
plan
us?
for the rest of the day. He will carry the heavy things. That's his job.
Shouldn't
What
be
heavy
anything
things do we need to?
I don't know. He carries things. I don't carry things. Do you carry things?
I don't
I
carry
roll
things.
my eyes so hard
I
they
have
go
a
back
big-
into my head.
I've got a pack on me. I clearly carry things.
So, yeah, she gets you guys set up. with like little individual canteen cups of the brew, and then she goes back out under the umbrella and pulls out a book and like sincerely starts sitting and reading. She doesn't seem phased by this situation.
I'm gonna go ahead and torch our journals. I'm
Okay.
sticking to this plan. I mean, I'm not gonna risk it. We're in like
Well,
really bad.
The only part that I'm keeping is because she already knows how to do her own potion. I'm keeping the notes of the lotus potion and the dream potion that she just taught me.
Oh yeah. That's fine.
So.
She's not gaining any knowledge from that we wouldn't.
Right.
Shirley, can you roll sanity for me?
So-
97.
You're going to gain 2 points of Cthulhu and lose a point of sanity from having watched her. And then also looking at the two spells, you have two spells in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You can see that they're the exact same, even though they are not at all the same. Which
Look
is
at
why
that,
you're losing
Shirley.
the sanity.
You got
There's
two
one
spells
parasol
and
left.
some Cthulhu mythos.
Yes, that's correct. There's one big umbrella. It's not like a tiny little parasol. We're talking like, when
Yeah,
you're at the
but-
beach.
But probably not also terribly comfortable for 5 people to all.
No.
Right.
So what happens when I reach 0?
You go insane.
Okay.
Your character is no longer playable.
You only lost one there, not two.
You gain 2
Two
Cthulhu
mythos.
mythos.
Yeah.
You
lose
lose
one.
one sanity. Somebody could first aid you, by the way, Astor.
With sanity?
No.
Oh
For
yeah,
the-
that would be
also-
great. Could you treat me?
Yeah,
Who's
you-
got the best
I'll-
first aid between
I'll,
you?
I'll say to Astor, hey, let's go into the shade in this building over here, and I'll first aid you.
I got a 41.
that sounds great.
I'll try to.
One of these is a D8.
Yeah, ding dong.
Oh, that's not the right one then.
For-
I gotta
for-
listen. Hold on.
For our listeners, Astor's been trying to, or not Astor, Rob or Bob, Robbie,
Bobby.
Bobby's been trying to help me with my dice by listening to them, and he just handed me 1d10 and 1d8, which is not great to roll percentile with.
It's dark in here, and it took me a second to realize what I was grabbing.
I did not pass.
Lion, son of a.
Holy shit.
I did not first aid that.
What's going on?
I got double lot.
Oh, she kills you.
No,
I'm
that
kidding.
was my second roll.
So you guys kind of hunker down for the rest of the day.
No, we're out of earshot now, right?
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we got all of them gone. What do we want to do now?
The agreement is that we keep anything physical. She's got no one here. We're gonna have a guard, and then we leave before they leave. They clearly can trail us regardless of what we do.
I'm just wondering, like at this point, like
I don't
We
know
could-
that that's a fair assessment that they can trail you no matter
If
what you.
she
you
said
guys-
they followed us through Cairo.
Yeah,
She
but
said
you
they
guys didn't
followed us
exactly
through-
go all secretive when you were in Cairo.
Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, let's
If you
assume.
put a little bit of work into it, I'm pretty sure you could lose them.
Probably.
Okay.
but to some degree, I'm saying
You want to go for it?
we could probably book it. We could, not my first plan, but potentially, like, they don't have any backup weapons, right? Like, we disarmed ourselves by putting it in the car. Like, I'd much rather probably just be like, get in the Jeep and leave. And, I mean, she already knows a fair amount of information.
She's not going to garner a lot more from this, I don't think. We're going for the object.
We've told her where, and then she needs to go to the Dreamlands. Beyond that, they just need to get a person that can pass the test. Maybe we do just need to stay and do it.
Well, here's the gig. We're back to the same thing.
Did
Worst
you come with me
case-
to do the first aid, or is this just an Astor? Sorry, Evelyn, are you there or
That's a good question.
not?
What?
I went off with
Astor.
Astor to first aid him in the shade of the building.
Are you with us?
Yeah, I tripped
Okay.
and fell on top of you
Oh, because you were also rolling first aid.
Yeah.
Okay,
And murdered you.
All right.
and accidentally stabbed you with my knife.
cast a spell to murder death of you.
Sorry.
Okay, so we have, again, all the advantage She may understand the dream world. She's been there. But we have all the advantage because they're all gone.
I guess to one point, we've now shared with her. This is a special location. That by entering the Dreamlands, you access
We
it.
shared with only her and the driver.
Which I'm saying at this
So-
point we could just maybe kill him.
We're not going to until we know definitively that she's out of the dream. Unless she can pull something in there, I think we're okay. This may benefit us. If she sticks to it, she's been sticking to her guns. She may stick to it. She's got more control in there than we do because she's been there more.
We could also make a sincere attempt to get the piece for the Palladium.
And
Since
then-
the army's not here, then we're outnumbering them physically and probably combatively, almost certainly combatively, and so we can kind of, if they try to pull anything at that point,
Execute and have a good day.
we could even presumably just leave and be like, well, even if you get in here, you can't get the thing anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Or we could potentially say, well, you just die for being a Nazi. That
Or
might be okay.
hell, just shoot the tire of the truck that she's in.
Yeah.
Slash the tire of the truck that she's in. It's not like we have
Okay.
we have plenty of options to escape and to be safe and be okay.
So I guess the question then is, are we going to sincerely now attempt to get the piece for the Palladium?
If we do, they don't. So I say yes
My question is, don't we need her
for
No.
to defeat the monster at the end?
She may help us. She could turn on us.
right.
But I don't think she's going to get that far.
I don't think she's gonna get that far either.
Then how are we going to get the piece? Because they said we needed as many people as possible to defeat the...
Apophis.
Yeah.
Just be good at what you do.
We'll make the chains and we'll fight the fight. And if what she says true about her brew, wow,
We can do it again if we need to.
we'll will ourselves out before we potentially lose, and we'll try against some other.
Okay.
All right, so all right. I think now we're ready to go to whatever the next step is.
Yep.
So we're good?
Yep.
Finally?
Finally.
Sorry,
No, you're fine.
we established previously that we weren't going to sincerely attempt, and now we want to change.
The situation's changed quite a bit. She was a lot more giving than.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to buy into the whole send your whole army away.
So you guys wait until the evening, until
Yep.
the sun starts to go down. She is served food. She hints at offering you some, but I assume you turn it down, so she just eats hers.
Wait. Clearly, Astor and myself are turning it down. What does Evelyn do? Because she's accepted at least tea at this point.
Begrudgingly eat my MRE.
But quite clearly, begrudgingly.
I think there's still
She's
rations.
got cucumber sandwiches.
No, she doesn't.
tea.
She's eating military rations.
Oh. No, I mean, if she doesn't have anything special.
Okay.
You know, I'm upper crust. I'm used to, like, nice things.
That's fair, but I'm just saying that I intend to have this implications beyond.
Right. This is.
You're
this
reading
is-
more into it than what it really is. It's only food.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you as a player, you haven't messed with Phil playing Blake. All right. I've been dealing with this for like 2 seasons. Directly, more often than not. This is the first time I've been on his
Don't
side.
get friendly with the Nazis. Blake doesn't like that.
No, I don't eat with Miss What's-Her-Face.
Okay. So you guys get settled. You drink the brew. You wake up just like you did last time. Or wake up, quote unquote, in the Dreamlands, in the Duat.
Not me.
Correct.
Or you're not going.
No, I'm
Okay.
standing right outside.
Well, I wasn't
going.
sure because you guys changed the plan. So
Sorry. No.
when they fall asleep, their bodies dissipate.
Neat.
The Egyptian who's kind of just sitting there too, like watches it happens, looks at you, looks at the floor, looks at you, and it's like, what?
I was gonna wave it off.
Are you headed to the sanatorium, or are you going to stay here?
Not yet. I'm gonna kind of watch the Egyptian and see what he does.
He seems unsettled. Like, he's watching you and waiting, but he just watched someone disappear in front of his eyes.
Did he fail his sanity roll?
Yeah, he does not seem happy about this. Are you going to seriously just sit there and wait?
First, I just want to see. I wanted to read what he was doing.
Oh, no, he's not. He doesn't like this.
Okay, I'm going to tell him. I'm going to kind of point back up to the car, like, go on back out, and I'll go over to the sanatorium.
Okay.
And if he decides to follow, that's fine. I've got the gun. He doesn't.
Yeah, no, he goes to the car, and then when he sees you go to the other building, he kind of, like, cautiously follows you in and, like, looks. And if you're just kind of sitting there waiting and hanging out, he kind of slowly comes in and sits down on the ground and waits. Like, he's not upset that you didn't tell him. He's more upset that, the person that hired him disappeared, and he didn't know about magic.
Surprise!
So
I don't
you-
speak Egyptian.
He doesn't
so-
just bug out and make our lives easier.
He doesn't speak Egyptian either, ironically. He speaks Arabic.
Oh, it doesn't matter. I don't speak any of the Middle Eastern languages. Does he speak any other language?
He does speak French.
Okay, then I'll, like, idly chatter with him.
Okay. You two and her all awake in a wide rectangular stone pavement facing a range of mountains. I'm not going to read through this all just because we went through it last time or a couple episodes ago. You go to the first gate where you find the snake guardian and the mummies. There are 3 mummies again and the 1 snake guardian, and it turns to Blake. And it says, hey, that's the next page. What is your name,
Brian Blake.
and why do you wish to travel through the Duat?
I seek a piece of the palladium for keeping it out of evil hands.
And the snake guardian motions for you to move through.
And I go ahead.
Turns to who's next in line? Who would have walked up next? Is that Evelyn?
We would have kept her in the middle, right?
She definitely would not have been last. Like I
Yeah.
probably would have put my.
He looks down at her and says, what is your name? And she says, she gives her Professor, whatever, Adalai Esh. He says, why do you wish to travel through the Duat? And she says, to obtain a piece of the palladium. And then she disappears. What is your name?
Evelyn October,
And why do you wish to travel through the Duat?
to obtain a piece of the palladium.
And the snake guardian motions. You guys go to the next guardian, and where you find again the Senate board. I'm not going to have you guys roll luck because I don't want to have to go through this again. We're going to assume you both succeed.
Yay!
You
Good
pass-
job, you guys.
You pass through the gate and find yourselves at the balance, at the scales. Brian, you climb up first.
Yep.
And you are weighed fine. Evelyn, you climb up as well, and you are also weighed fine.
What did she say whenever they asked what she was going to go through?
A piece of the palladium.
Okay.
Not
That's
that
it?
your player knows, but yeah.
No, but curiosity's sake, 'cause
Yeah.
I don't
all
listen
she
to the
said.
podcast, so I wanted to hear the story.
Then maybe you should have been paying attention.
Sorry. It was important.
That's all she said. Was just yeah.
She said, I said, why do you want to travel through Duat? She said, I seek a piece of the palladium.
Sorry.
And she,
I'm just saying, you wanted immersion.
I know.
You guys get to the last, to the weighing, and find yourself going through the last gate.
We have to make the rings.
This time, however, the road does not lead to another gateway, but instead to the shores of a lake whose inky black waters are as smooth as polished glass. At the lake's center is an island on which stands a temple not dissimilar to the one you guys were in, only on a smaller scale. Patches of trees line both shores. We've established that those are willow trees. You know what to do with them. Would
So-
you like to... So you know you need chains.
Yep.
And you know that you'll probably need several of them.
Yes.
Okay. So after a couple of minutes of trying to you taking the willow and forming it, which forms very easily and quickly, you have like 7 sets of chains. I mean, it takes moments.
Yes. Okay.
There's a small boat moored to a wooden jetty where the road ends. There are enough seats and oars for everyone if you wish to go to the island.
Are you ready, Evelyn?
Yes. I
Let's
think
go.
we should go.
Yep.
I piled the chains into the boat.
Journey across the lake is an easy one. The boat takes a little effort to row and does not appear to need steering as it hones in on the jetty on the island's shore, where it can be safely moored. As soon as the second of you steps off the boat, the water of the lake bursts into flames, and twisted hybrid creatures, some of them bearing an uncanny resemblance to the ones you saw hanging in the Judgment Hall of Osiris, can be seen swimming through the lake. So these are monstrous creatures that you had seen before. You already have. As you approach the temple gate, you can all make a listen.
Ought 9.
Is that a crit?
Let's see. 1/5. Yes.
All right. You hear the sounds of what sounds like an approaching train, and you notice that the ground itself is rippling slightly.
I point this out to Evelyn.
And then out of the corner of your eye, you see a blue-robed figure watching you from the far shore. As you turn to look in its direction, it disappears. As you kind of walk closer to the temple, suddenly a grotesque, massive worm-like creature erupts from the ground in front of you, barring your way. I need some... You guys need to... This is clearly Apophis, by the way. A Pep Apophis. You need to... get it... roll some throw for me to throw the chain around it, unless you have a better idea on how to get the chain around it.
Run around him.
Did you say run around him?
Yeah.
Okay, you can do that. Is that what you want to do?
So I would give one in to him, and then I
You'd
would
run?
try to go around him.
You can give me a dex times 3.
Ought 3.
Okay. That's 1. That's good. That's good. Do you want to do another one? Is that what you're doing?
Oh, I thought you said that's 1. Do I need to do 3?
You'll need to do more than 1. That's the first chain
We've
that's
got
around
like
him.
7, so we want to try to get all of them.
I just don't have a very good throw.
Well, I guess my dex times 3 is better than my throw. Could try to dodge him and then grapple him.
I got a 10 under 25 for a throw.
Oh, okay. So there's the second one. You said you're going to do what, Blake?
Try to like just approach him and
Grapple him?
not like restrain him, but just kind of
Okay.
you know,
Roll your grapple.
get close enough that I can just, instead of like being at a distance and throwing it, be like I'm just gonna wrap you with it. 32 under 59.
32 under 59.
Yes.
Okay. Roll.
I get to mark
What's your
grapple,
dexterity?
Right?
Yes.
14.
Oh, ooh, okay. So you need to roll below a 85. Jeez.
57.
Okay. So you grapple with the third one. It is going to attack back. It will bite at both of you. It has tiny little heads as well. Oh, that would miss Blake. And then Evelyn. Oh, that definitely missed you. Never mind. We're just going to assume that you guys get the other 2 around. It's not a big deal. I'd rather move on with the story. Is that okay?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Certainly after the first 5, it seems like, okay, we're going to get there eventually.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you only needed 5, and you guys had 3, so I feel like you had made good progress. The temple interior is an almost dark...
we just restrain him and then we're able to move past.
Yeah, well, once you restrain him, he merges back. I'm sorry, I should back up. So you restrain him, he merges back into the ground. You both need to roll sanity. Thank you for reminding me, Phil.
That was not my intent.
What happens if I fail?
D10
Fail.
plus 2.
Oh.
As you've seen an elder god. A D10. Yeah, there you go.
I lose
Plus 2.
3.
8.
What's your current sanity?
27. So yeah, that's
Yikes.
more than a fifth.
Don't worry, it won't affect you yet. What'd you lose, Shirley?
3.
Well, that's not so bad. Okay. The temple interior is total darkness. Sorry. As you move towards the rear of the temple, the light, there's a, I'm sorry, apart from a diffuse light. There you go. The temple interior is almost total darkness apart from a diffused light which appears to emanate from the rear of the temple. As you move towards the rear of the temple, the light does indeed become stronger. And once you reach the inner sanctuary, the investigators, you can see inside one statue. See that instead of one statue, there are 4, one in each corner of the room, each holding a variation of the sun disk in front of them. Can you both roll idea?
$68 over 65.
66 over 65. That's ridiculous.
Both of us so close.
Can I have half of idea?
Shirley, can you roll occult for me? Actually, Blake, you can roll occult too.
Say like I've got decent occult.
What the holy living hell?
46 under 65.
So
Where
Blake,
is occult?
it's alphabetical.
MNO. Oh. Yeah, I got it.
'Kay.
69 under 79.
You recognize one of the discs. It looks like something you remember seeing at Major Blythe Mander's house. In the hands of the statue in the northwest corner of the sanctuary. Hold on, sorry.
That's fair. Like, I have an idea of what I want to do, and I'm like, I should probably let you finish.
So let's talk about your clothing. So what were you guys wearing in the desert?
My archaeology clothing.
What does that include? Shirt, pants, boots?
Yeah, shirt, pants, boots,
Gloves.
Gloves, hat.
What about you, Blake?
Blake would be wearing boots.
Mm-hmm. A cape?
No. A relatively sturdy pant, probably of a light color given the environment. Socks, underwear, undershirt, and thinking almost like a very light brown, like safari type.
Undergarments are given, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Not all men wear
Hat,
undershirts.
gloves.
I
assume
when he went to when he took the potion, he was not wearing his hat because he had been indoors for an extended period of time.
Okay.
He would have gone out in the expedition with a hat. He would not have worn gloves. It also would have been a short sleeve shirt if it makes any difference.
Okay. Who wants to grab what you believe is the attend first?
I would make motion to unless Evelyn intervened. Once I recognized it.
Yeah.
So you're going to grab it, Phil?
Yes.
Or she?
Unless she stops me or moves faster than me.
I mean, I would just point out, hey, this looks like the one in Blythe Manors.
Okay.
And if he reaches for it, he reaches for it.
So, Phil, you pick it up. Make a spot hidden.
64 under 88.
You see movement at the doorway as you pick it up. Do you go to move and see what that was?
So I have not yet put my hands upon it?
No, as you grab it,
I grab it?
you see movement at the doorway.
Have I lifted it or just put my hands on
Just
it?
put your hands on it.
I will lift and turn.
Okay. Are you going to walk over to the doorway?
Depends on what I see.
You don't see anything right this moment.
Do I have my bow and arrow?
Yes.
Even though I didn't have my gun because it was in the car?
Oh, I guess no. No, you would not. That's a good point.
Oh, we put all of our stuff in the car. That's awesome.
I will hand the A10 to Evelyn and move towards the door.
As you hand it to Evelyn, you're going to take damage. You take 3 damage. You are knocked across the room, and the A10 is no longer in your hands. It's fallen to the ground.
I take 3.
3.
I try to pick up the A10.
You're fine. You pick it up just fine. You do notice that she's wearing gloves and you are not. And Evelyn, as soon as you are done being hurt, because it hurts, you are essentially electrocuted.
Yeah.
You realize that he is holding it without gloves. You have gloves on, and you see scorch marks on your gloves. That perhaps maybe gloves is a bad idea.
I think I saw something by the door, which is the only exit.
Yes.
So we should be cautious as we exit.
Okay.
I'll still lead the way, and I will still hold the A10
Okay. Are you walking out of the room?
cautiously. Yes.
Okay. As soon as you step across the threshold, he disappears. You will wake in a moment. Are you following him out?
Yeah.
Okay. You step out, and you also disappear. Meanwhile, so it's been several hours. You've had a little bit of trouble staying awake. Honestly, it's warm. It's night.
Right.
None of this is fun. But you could that those few moments before the sun actually rises, you can feel like it's about to get day, and
Yeah.
that's what you start to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Are you doing anything before that happens? Before the sun rises?
No one is here yet.
No one is here. Well, yeah, no one's here except for the Egyptian.
Is he still awake?
He's nodding.
Nodding. We have a light in here. Kind
Yeah.
of fire or something, yeah.
You probably have a
torches.
couple of lanterns,
Okay.
like oil lanterns.
No, I'll eat and
Okay.
I'm gonna try to stay awake and wait for him.
As the sun is rising, as you see the first slivers coming over the horizon, the professor appears. She's not awake yet, but it takes just a few seconds before she starts to wake up.
Okay.
And then a few moments later, the other two appear first, Brian, and then quickly right after him, Evelyn.
Okay.
Brian is holding a large disc. It's probably 3 foot wide or 3 foot in diameter. It's a big disc, but it's thin. It's maybe half an inch thick.
Okay.
Am I conscious right away? I don't know.
No, you wake up as quickly as everyone else does. It takes a few moments for you to start waking.
Seeing who's around me, I will look to Astor and be like, let's go.
Okay.
The professor sits up and looks at the A10, and she says, "What happened?"
I don't respond.
None of you are going to answer me.
I don't know. I clearly don't know.
I'm sure you're awake by this point, Evelyn.
Do you guys remember? I'm just
I mean,
curiosity
do
out of
we
character.
remember
Yeah,
those
yeah.
parts of it?
Yeah.
Everything except for the game, right?
Everything except for the game. How to play the game.
I don't know. You lied.
I'm not waiting. I am just walking out.
Mr. Fournier,
Yes.
kill them. You need to. So what's your will or POW?
My POW is 10.
If you had will, you had +2 because of our
So
candles.
you need to make a 30 or
Right.
under.
Rob, I will kill you.
No, he's
I
going to
don't
kill
get
you
a
first.
vote. can't look, Phil.
No, that's a 57.
Oh!
You are under her control for this round. You are going to fire at one of them as many times as possible to try and kill them.
Can't get.
When do I go insane? Because I lost all that sanity.
We'll wait until after this happens.
I've got 2 firing.
Yep.
I'm not picking. I'm not have control.
He's the bigger threat. Meanwhile, the Egyptian pulls his knife and comes at you, Evelyn.
That's great.
Sorry, Phil. It's a 40 under 70.
You
I'm
can
gonna
dodge.
try dodge. Ought 6.
Yay! Yay!
Shirley.
And I get to mark it.
Oh, no. He failed terribly. Go ahead and shoot him again. Or shoot at him again.
Cursed dice are
I
going the
only
wrong
get
way.
to
every
dodge
time.
once, so, you know, if you could miss here, that'd be...
I did 90.
Okay.
Yay.
Would either of you like to react to do something this round? As you, Shirley, he did come up and stab at you, but I rolled terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like, really bad. You could kick him. Or punch him. Or
Try to take his knife.
you could take his knife.
I don't know if I can take his knife. All right, let's try to. I'm running.
You're running?
Yes.
Okay. So you run. You don't need to roll anything. There's no roll for running.
I'm gonna
Nope,
run
you
to the
failed your-
car
failed
to
your run,
see
you
if
fall
I
down.
can get into
That's
the car.
going to be several rounds. And do you have the keys?
No.
Blake,
What are you doing,
what would
Blake?
you like to do?
Just
How
run.
many shots would I expect Astor to be able to get off before he doesn't have a clear line of sight? Assuming he stands still.
You could probably get another round, so another 2. Oh, assuming you stand still? Or he
Assuming
stands?
He
Yeah,
stands still.
you can get another 2.
Then I am also going to run.
Okay.
Because that's where the guns and weapons are. Because I don't even have my R2-D2 knife, right?
Right. You could, take the gun from him. Grapple.
I could grapple.
But then.
But I'm also holding the A10.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, solid point. So you're running for the car. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. Astor, roll your POW, or roll that 30% again.
Succeed this time.
Phil.
Oh, it's oh! I looked at the tens first, and I was excited because it was aught. But then I looked at the ones.
Oh!
It was also aught.
It's my second of the night.
Roll sanity.
Yo.
I was like, he got aught something.
I passed my sanity check.
He got 100.
You'll lose 1 as you realize that magic is being used against you to kill your compatriots. And now you get to fire at Phil twice.
Boy.
10 under 70.
73 under 75 for my dodge.
You have a 75 dodge?
Yeah, I knew what I was doing when I made a combat character.
Of all the characters that you could shoot at, like, he's the one. Go ahead. Fire again, Phil. Or Astor.
I get to fire. I
No,
magically have a
and
gun?
you only get to dodge 1 bullet
Right.
around.
Fail.
Jeez.
Yo, yay.
Okay. You drop to the ground. Your head is just splitting, and you drop the gun.
Oh, thank goodness. You want my gun. Take my gun.
But Blake is out of the room. You are essentially going to be incapacitated until I say otherwise, as you feel a presence inside of you fighting against this magical compulsion.
You're like, yay, oh, it's for bad reasons, or reasons I don't like.
Shirley, both you and Phil, need to make, let's say, luck rolls.
You love.
I do.
I made it, 38. Can I mark luck? I want to
yes.
increase my luck.
I know, right? 43 under 65.
Okay.
I made it too.
You guys go out, head to the car. Are you just going to get guns and coming back?
I'm gonna
Is that the plan?
stash the
10.
a 10
in the vehicle.
in the vehicle,
Okay.
get my gun, and go back for Astor because I like him.
Okay, you guys get your
Sorry.
guns and come back. She,
Oh, and my R2D2 knife.
the
for
professor and the Egyptian are both gone. Astor is laying on the ground writhing, and there is no gun.
Oi.
grab him, get him back to our car.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll
All
keep
right.
a lookout.
Who's carrying him? Because he can't carry himself.
Mostly me.
I have a shotgun. I grabbed my shotgun.
Okay, so she's probably got the shotgun, and you're just gonna have to carry him and you won't be able to fire.
Unless I drop him.
Yes, we're on the same page. Nope, we're on the same page. I like this plan.
I'm not saying
This
like
is fine.
ditch him, but I mean like if I start getting shot at, I'm not just gonna be like, well, I'm holding him. I'm just gonna stand.
I mean,
here.
in all fairness, you'll be dropped on sand. It'll just burn you.
I don't care. I'm incapacitated.
So you guys come outside. As you do, Shirley, the Egyptian is waiting and stabs at you. Oh, hey, I hit.
Oh,
Roll
hey,
dodge.
I'm gonna dodge.
Oh, he has an R2D2 knife. That's weird.
Oh, jeez. I do not dodge.
Oh, you don't dodge?
That's not good. R2D2 knife is pretty decent.
Yeah. I heard it has a lot of
You're gonna-
7 though.
Ouch.
That's a lot.
Oh, my gosh.
I think I fall on his knife.
How many hit points do you have?
Never a good question.
Oh, I got 14.
Good, because he stabs you for 10.
Oh my!
With the R2D2
I
knife?
rolled a max, and he has damage bonus.
He got you like right in the kidney or something.
Would you like to shoot him?
Yeah.
Well, you're going to get double your shotgun
Yeah,
score.
if he's stabbing you, you're like,
Yeah.
Point blank range, man.
are you using buck or what
Oh,
is it?
yeah.
Slug.
Slug?
13 under 79.
Yeah, you hit. Actually, no, that's a crit. So you'll roll a d10 plus 7 and multiply that by 2.
He's done.
9.
No, is that a 9 on the
16.
die? 16, 32. He's dead. Yeah,
He is now missed.
drops. You hear a bang, another bang, as a bullet flies past you, Blake, and hits the wall behind you. She doesn't even have a score for firearms.
Was it base 25 or something?
Yeah, but we're not going to worry about that.
Handgun is base 20.
So top of the round, Shirley, what's your dex? 14?
Dex is 15.
15. And Brian, your dex is 10?
14.
14. Oh. So Shirley, what are you going to do this round?
If I hear.
She's right there. Not right there. She's there.
Yeah, I spend a fire on her.
You spend a fire on her?
Yeah. I spin to fire on her.
Spin to fire on her.
No, I heard spend a fire on her too. Like I
you
have
get
a
out
fire.
your fire and you spend it on her?
Oh,
I'm giving the
I
cashier one fire.
spin to fire on her.
And Blake, what are you going to do?
I see her.
Yeah.
I'm going to not so delicately drop Astor.
Are you sure you don't want to just take cover? You just watched Evelyn blow a man apart.
Like, not a little bit.
like she murderized him.
Myrtleite.
If I drop Astor right here, does he have reasonable cover?
Yes. However, he's also taking damage. He's hurt.
Yeah.
Jostling the hurt guy, not a great idea.
He does have several wounds.
Yeah.
3, I think.
Yeah. I mean, he
Can
didn't
I-
just get stabbed for
Can
10
I
points, but
spend the round putting him in a safe place?
yes.
All right, that's what I do.
Okay. Evelyn, go ahead.
Because I like you and stuff, Astor. Thanks. I guess I should say that Blake likes you and stuff.
43 under 79.
Okay, roll your damage. Oh, wait, I get to dodge. Oh, look, roll your damage. Oh, no, I actually dodged. Oh, wow.
No, you didn't.
I did.
Damn it.
Because she rolled a 10.
Oh, man, I barely dodged, but I dodged. She has a high dex. She's going to fire at Blake.
I'm at 13.
It's okay. I'm healthy.
I do not hit.
And I've been dodging like freaking mad.
Shirley, do you have
Yeah.
2 shots?
Between your dodge and my bad rolls, we've been doing okay.
Yeah. You got one each round, and I made my dodge on both of those. So we're
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and fire again.
You're like Shirley's got this. She just blew a man up. And now what?
42 under 79.
Okay.
That's 7, 11.
Okay, she takes a hit, and kind of drops to a knee. Top of the next round, Blake, you're gonna fire.
Was there any indication to me that a magical thing?
She told Astor to fire on you guys. Like, yeah.
No, but so
Oh, okay.
I have that spell dampen.
Oh no, she doesn't seem to have.
Power.
She doesn't seem to have anything protecting her like that.
Okay, that's what I was trying to check for. Yes. Then yes, I will fire as much as I can.
Okay.
And I can fire 3 times as you allow.
We're just gonna call this. She only has a couple of hit points, and if the two of you can't make in 5 shots, so you guys kill her in the desert. It takes a minute or so, and Astor finally calms down. What?
And just to be clear, like if she's like on the borderline thing, I make sure she's dead.
So you just go like walk up to her, put your foot on her chest, push her down, and just fire into her head.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
You can do whatever sanity penalties you want.
No,
to,
no,
but, like,
no.
She's a magic bad person. She's
Once
done.
once she drops from one of you two killing her, it doesn't really matter. The weight of what you saw in the Dreamlands really starts to take hold, and you cannot stand the thought of sand in your clothing anymore.
Okay.
Does that make sense? This is like, you know, sometimes you get like a rock in your shoe and you're like, this fucking rock, just get it out of my... Like sand is everywhere, and it's gonna get in your clothes, and that just fills you with existential dread. That's the only thing you can think.
Okay.
Astor, you writhe on the ground for probably another minute or so after she drops. You can feel that quote-unquote goodness inside of you battling this mythos thing. I do need you to make a sanity check, though.
No.
Okay. You'll lose another point, as you know that you don't like it and that it is not inherent to who you are, but somehow it's better than you.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. And that's, you know, yeah. So, Evelyn, you have 2 guys writhing on the ground. Or you have a guy writhing on the ground and the other one who is unhappy with sand suddenly.
I'm like brushing myself, like.
That's some heebie-jeebie problems, man. That's not a good one.
No.
Are you guys, I take it you're headed back to the
Yeah, I go
car?
to
I
I
guess
go
you're in
to
a
like
Jeep.
try to
Yeah.
help Astor up, and I'm like screaming at Blake, "Let's get to the car! Let's get
feel
to the
Well,
car!"
definitely.
Do I remember firing at him?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
You also feel very like achy, tired. Your muscles feel like you've been in a physical fight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
You guys are headed to your own vehicle?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's driving?
Nose goes.
If they don't,
I mean, I think
I'll
can
I'll
drive.
I'll lead.
Okay.
I've been pretty leading
Okay.
thus far.
Evelyn's got some pretty deep wounds, so I don't know if she's
Yeah,
Yeah.
somebody might want to first aid Evelyn since she's bleeding substantially.
My first aid is a fitty.
I
Yeah,
think
you're more doctory than I am. I have got some, but we're
Somebody
not
do
both
something.
allowed to, though, right?
yeah. If he fails, you can try.
I failed.
Dude,
You guys both failed on me. I don't want to hear it.
30 something.
39 over 37.
Well, you guys got the bleeding to stop. You don't get any hit points back.
Dude,
Welcome to
Hey,
the
you're
club.
not dead.
Blake, where are you driving?
Back to the city.
Back. Okay, so you guys got off a boat at a dock,
Yeah.
and there was a little town there. Are you driving to that town, or are you driving to Cairo?
Do I think I can get us to Cairo?
Yes, there will be a follow-up question. If that's if that's the direction you're going,
Presumably the Nazis went. Where?
you didn't
Where-
dictate.
I
said
I know.
away.
I don't know. Where would I think the Nazis went? I would think back to the town as a player,
You would probably think back to the town with the dock. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would start driving towards Cairo.
Okay. Next question.
Okay, well, hold on. If I'm going along that route, to the best of my knowledge, I think I can still get fuel by the time we do the
Yeah,
gas.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
then yes, I go in that direction.
Next question.
Yeah.
Are you driving on the road back to the town to get to the main road to go back? Or are you going to go across the sand and navigate your way back so that you can skip being seen completely? In other words, are you going to put the minimal effort in to not get caught? You're looking for the word navigate.
Yes, I see that, and I don't have any skill in it.
Your
It is-
navigator is also George.
Correct.
We need
Carlos.
George.
For so many reasons, we need George. We're in a rough spot, and getting lost in the desert seems.
Not
Well, okay.
very-
So I know that the Nile is east.
Sure, yeah.
I know the sun is east, so I know north,
Sure.
could just follow the Nile.
and I know
If you
roughly.
follow the Nile, you'll be on the main road. That's part of the problem. It runs
Gotcha.
along the Nile. So if you get that close, you're going to be seen.
But we need to skirt the city, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. But there's also like you're going to be in the desert. It's not like there's, a lot of signposts out in the middle of the sand.
No,
We
but
don't have the GPS yet.
Yeah.
right. But if I know that the Nile runs roughly north-south,
Right.
and we're trying to skirt the city, not the main road that leads to Cairo, correct?
The main road that leads to Cairo goes through the city.
So you're
Yes,
trying to
but
go
we
around
want
the
to.
city,
Eventually, we're going to hit the main road again.
Yeah. Absolutely.
but further out.
Further out. So I think that based on using the sun to say there's east, so now I know north.
Sure.
I will drive into the desert, unless my compatriots tell me not to, and try to skirt the city and hit the main road on the other side of the city.
Okay. Would you rather roll navigate, luck, or knowledge?
Knowledge.
Come on, triple lot. Come on, triple lot.
Dude, we've
Get
been
lost in
rolling-
the desert.
Hey, if you want us all to die, you
No,
could have
no.
just done that
No,
many
no.
other places.
Yeah, no.
That's a 5275.
Okay.
Yes.
You end up not where you thought you were going to be, and it's probably an extra hour and a half before you make it back to the right road.
Yeah.
But you make it. It is going to be a long trip back to Cairo. It's a car ride. I mean, it's a several-day car ride.
Yeah.
But I think this is actually a great place for us to stop. We have other podcasts. You can find those over at nerdsdom.com. You should check those out, and we will talk to you guys next week. And that will do it for us tonight on the Nerds Domain Presents Masks of Nyarlathotep. Remember, you can email us at nerdsdomain@gmail.com or find us over on Facebook and Twitter at facebook.com/nerdsdomain and twitter.com/nerdsdomain. You can also check out our site at nerdsdom.com. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter while you're there. You can head over to iTunes and give us a 5-star rating. We want to thank Passion Nerdly for our music. Don't forget, you can support us at patreon.com/nerdsdomain and check out our shirts at TeePublic.